Yowie wowie, welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade. Today on the show, we've got the latest sneakers blunder, New Balance trying to shut down their own cool Kai, golf talk, wrestling talk, and of course, we have our Hard Pass. All right, let's just start with some hot takes. Sneakers is back on track, baby. They are refunding and canceling orders from the Mamba Day restock. We don't know the reasons for the changes, but nevertheless, this is another bad strike on the supposed relaunch of the Kobe brand, John Donahoe. You should have set expectations low, John Donahoe, so that there won't be a massive letdown. But you know how you can avoid another round of bad press for sneakers, John Donahoe? You know what it is, John Donahoe. Make more Protros, John Donahoe. I promise you. Hell, I guarantee you, John Donahoe, Nike will survive if you just made a little bit more Kobe Protros so that more people can buy them. Because they will buy them, John Donahoe. Especially kids and hoopers. They will buy Kobe Protros because they believe those are the top of the line basketball shoes. Even more so than LeBron's, John Donahoe. They will hoop in them, wear them out, and buy new ones, John Donahoe. You have nothing to lose in making more Protros, John Donahoe, except some much needed goodwill. A week after Meek Mill went viral for trying to spit game / hustle a reseller, Philadelphia 76ers star Tyrese Maxey was spotted buying all of the New Balances at SneakerCon. You know, I don't believe in industry plants, but yeah, regardless, this is a smart bit of marketing by New Balance. By having Maxey go out to these conventions and hyping up New Balance, it might just penetrate and get the kids to demand more New Balance representation at SneakerCon. I just don't believe Maxey would need any New Balances a typical SneakerCon reseller would have. The stock they got is probably a bunch of 550s that were hot like a year ago. Now, show me some random at one of these events with some rare made in Japan joints, and I'd be impressed. Speaking of New Balance, they are suing Golden Goose over their Dad Star sneaker, and well, they kinda have a point. It's not unlike the Cool Kai and Nike legal drama, which is still ongoing. Don't let all the premature social media posts declaring one side or the other winner fool you. We're not kidding ourselves into believing that every sneaker out there is some kind of original one-of-one design. Of course, everybody copies from everybody else or is inspired by other works. But where it gets egregious and obnoxious is when you name your $9.90 knockoffs Dad Star when you know New Balance is the dad shoe and has never run away from that reputation. Like, read the room, Golden Goose. You cultivated an entire brand on trashy looking beaters before Nike made off-white colored midsoles on Dunks. Don't push your luck, guys. A week after some jackass stole Sabrina Ionescu's signature shoes with custom insoles, Ionescu got some replacements and some reinforcements for next time. If I'm Nike, I'm calling up Apple right now and reviving Nike Plus with AirTags. Just so you know, people would buy Jordan branded AirTags to hide in their shoes just in case someone up there is wondering about it. Shout out to Nike SB for always keeping it a buck. Now, do Kobe Protros next time. You know someone in Beaverton wants to lay the smackdown on SB, but they can't because we the people keep doing stupid shit just to buy their dunks. If I was in the sneaker job market, I'd look at an opening at Nike SB ASAP. Imagine being able to talk smack about Nike and you work at Nike? Man, that's like a dream job. J Balvin debuts a nighttime version of his Jordan 3 collab while hanging out with Jimmy Butler. DJ Khaled hasn't even seen them, and he already wants them. Expect another totally organic video where Balvin tries to act sincere in giving Khaled his personal pair. I imagine Butler is so glad to be out of Jordan Brand ever since he landed in Miami. Khaled would be hitting him up every day, and he would have to pretend it's cute and endearing to have a neighbor that's so thirsty. Anyway, for our pick of the week, we're going to go with the Eastside Golf Air Jordan 1 High Golf Change. This is on September 8th for $200. The next Eastside Golf collaboration with Jordan Brand is a special one that acknowledges the history of the game that we all love and that it wasn't that long ago there were forces that was keeping us from enjoying the game that we love. On the heels of these green and black Jordan 1s are the word change and the year 1961. It's a reference to the year the PGA lifted their ban on non-white golfers. Yeah, 1961 both feels like a long time ago, but also recent enough that it just frustrates you that it took them so long. It deprived the likes of Ted Rhodes and Bill Spiller, who fought for their right to play on tour, for having productive PGA careers. If the green and black and the traditional red and royal color blocking gets you interested in the sneaker, hopefully the history that inspired the collab also resonates with you. All right, back to the hot takes. The FIBA World Cup is going on right now, and one of the big names that opted not to play for understandable reasons is reigning NBA champ and Finals MVP Nikola Jokic. Let's check on him right now. He's probably training for the upcoming season, like super locked in. Yeah, he's got the whole world in his hands and does not care a single bit. He's never coming back to America, is he? Look how happy he is, dancing like there's no one around. Well, there's no one around his field of vision because he's 6'11", standing on a freaking table with his eyes closed. That's how into the music he is, but that's not the point. He is gonna be so miserable in a few weeks when he has to fly back to Denver and do his job. Denver might have to airlift his entire ranch and racetrack just so he won't get homesick. Patrick Reed is back, continuing to advocate for live golf like the PGA was the place that only gave you $2 a day to make sneakers worth hundreds of dollars. My man, it's hard enough to like you as well, Patrick Reed. Then you post an essay on Instagram with a bunch of hashtags that clearly show you have no idea what hashtags are for. Look, there's two ways to advocate for live golf. Collect the bag like Dustin Johnson and shut the up about how better live is than real golf, aka PGA Tour golf, because it's not and it's never going to be. Or just keep it real like Harold Varner III and admit it's only about the bag. Like, look at Brooks Koepka. The definitive golf bro is on live, but was still chosen as a captain's pick for the one and only team golf event that matters, the Ryder Cup, because he's, well, not Patrick Reed. I don't pretend to know everything there is to know about the selection process, but I'm gonna guess Captain Zach Johnson and Vice Captains Fred Couples, Jim Furyk, and Davis Love III would have no problem leaving the so-called Captain America off the team even if he won a major this year. Ugh, that picture. Man, why does Reed get to claim Captain America? Like Steve Rogers is rolling over in his grave or in his bed or on the moon or wherever he's supposed to be in the MCU. You know what I mean. AEW's big London pay-per-view All In delivered on all fronts this past weekend. It had amazing matches, a decent runtime that didn't overstay its welcome, a nice way to continue the blazing hot MJF Adam Cole story, a feel-good moment for the hometown girl Saraya, and of course, CM Punk shenanigans. It was so good that All Out, another AEW pay-per-view that might be happening right now as you're watching this, feels like an afterthought. Hey, Tony Khan, I know you're coming back to London next year, so word of advice. All In Saturday, All Out Sunday. Just saying, you can have that one for free. And now, for the CM Punk of it all. Look, if you don't think wrestlers and management argue and sometimes fight off camera because of beef in the same way that football players or basketball players or baseball players argue and sometimes fight off camera to settle beef, then I don't know what to tell you. That's just the way it goes. They get their aggression outside of the view of cameras and phones and then act like adults who have a job to do when it's done. However, CM Punk is now officially in the Draymond Green zone, man. Or is it Draymond Green is in the CM Punk zone? I don't know. Like, despite all the drama, and there is a lot of drama, they might still be worth it because of ratings and championship. But that leash is getting shorter and shorter. And if they don't hold up their end of the bargain, aka ratings and championships, then it's time to let them go. And yes, in this analogy, Jack Perry is definitely Jordan Poole, a kid with tons of potential, but is flying a little too close to the sun and is getting sucker punched or put in a chokehold for it. All right, it's time for this week's Hard Pass, where we take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go. This week, we're going with the trio of Hard Passes because there's a couple of things that I just kind of need to get off my chest. All right, let's start with my five-time world champion San Francisco 49ers. So this past week, they traded Trey Lance to our little brothers, the Dallas Cowboys. It's the end of a frustrating saga where we were promised the world by the front office. They traded 4 draft picks, including 3 first-rounders, to take Lance, an unproven commodity from a smaller school with a world of potential. But injuries and setbacks in Brock Purdy proved to be too much to overcome, and now we're shipping Lance off to play for the JV squad. Personally, I wish nothing but the best for Lance. He looked good the few times he did play, and it's not like we ever read anything about him dogging it. He wanted things to work out. We wanted things to work out. Things just don't work out sometimes. And of course, having Purdy around eases the blow. At least that's what I tell myself before reading who the Niners could have picked had they either kept their initial 2021 draft pick or traded up anyways and not taken Lance. So let's see here. Jamar Chase, wide receiver, Cincinnati Bengals, offensive rookie of the year, two-time Pro Bowler. Maybe we don't trade for McCaffrey, but holy Chase and Debo on the same team? Kyle Pitts, tight end, Atlanta Falcons, one-time Pro Bowler. Don't want to overshadow Kittle, I get it, but having these two beasts would have been crazy. Penei Sewell, offensive tackle, Detroit Lions, one-time Pro Bowler. Sewell on the right side, Trent on the left. Nobody's touching Brock. Patrick Surtain II, cornerback, Denver Broncos, 2022, All-Pro, 2 years, and he's already All-Pro? Oh. Micah Parsons, linebacker, JV team, defensive rookie of the year, two-time All-Pro, 2 years, and he's All-Pro twice? Imagine if he was on a real team. Rashawn Slater, offensive tackle, the other LA team that isn't the Rams, 2021 second team All-Pro. Okay, slightly more defensible since he's the same position as Williams. Mac Jones, quarterback, New England Patriots, one-time Pro Bowler, and the quarterback coach that Kyle Shanahan originally wanted. Considering how things shook out, we'll take Purdy. And that's not even including 2 productive wideouts in Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith, the latter of which helped beat the Niners in last year's NFC Championship game. Yeah, I haven't forgot about that one-hander, Devontae. By the way, I understand that this all sounds spoiled because my Niners are still a pretty good team that has a real chance of making it to the Super Bowl only to lose to Patrick Mahomes again, but still, it's been nearly 30 years, man. The Lakers have won 6 championships in that time. The Dodgers got 1. The Kings got 2. The hometown Rams got 1 at our expense, and so on and so on. It's time like this that I want to text my friends who are fans of the Clippers or that other team that's in LA for some reason, and I'm like, hey, what's it like to have no hope with no real light on the horizon? Okay, moving on to something a little more positive. WNBA star A'ja Wilson, the 2-time MVP, reigning champion, is one of the league's brightest stars, and most recently, she tied the WNBA scoring record in a single game with the 53-point performance last week. The sneakers she had on? The Nike LeBron 20, which LeBron himself was quick to point out in a shameless plug for his kicks while congratulating Wilson on her accomplishment. I get it. While the scoring output may have been an outlier, Wilson being one of the best, if not the best, in the W is not an outlier, and she should definitely be next in line for a signature shoe. It's not like Wilson is not on Nike's radar. The Cosmic Unity, Nike basketball's top hooping shoe that isn't part of the GT line, is ostensibly an A'ja Wilson signature shoe. She has been featured in every single model's marketing campaign, and plenty of player-exclusive colorways for her have actually dropped at retail. But it's one thing to be the face of a sneaker. Think Blake Griffin with Hyperdunks and Superflies, and it's another to have one with their name on it. Currently, Nike counts Sabrina Ionescu and Elena Delle Donne as their signature shoe athletes. If anybody should get the call to be next, it's Wilson, especially if the Las Vegas Aces go back-to-back and win another championship. So a hard pass to the Cosmic Unity, no offense, and a level up to a signature shoe for Wilson. All right, and the last hard pass of the day goes to the phrase, I like what I like, I'm above the hype. It's like a sickness that everybody has, including yours truly. We are in a constant need to prove that we are not influenced by anything and that we are our own individual people who wear the sneakers that we wear because we actually genuinely like them. Yes, wear what you like. Good for you. I'm happy that you are wearing something that you actually want to wear. It would be legitimately weird if you wore something that you don't like or was uncomfortable because the internet told you to do it. Don't let my taste dictate your taste. And if your taste is nothing but Cactus Jacks and Yeezys and Jordan Retros, all hype shoes, hey, do you. I just don't want to hear that you're above it all anymore when you're clearly not. It's not like this is a new problem, mind you. But there was a post by Soul Retriever and a subsequent comment that kind of pushed me to break out with this rant. So the post was a rock one, stock one, drop one. You know, the kind of post that's designed to incite passionate responses in the comments in the hopes of going viral. It's like, we know how the internet works, guys. This is not something new or novel. Anyways, the choices were all Cactus Jack 1 lows, the olives, the mochas, and the fragments. You know, real basic and you might expect people express their opinions, blah, 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 you know, real basic again. But there was one comment that got to me in an outsized way. It said, I know this is going to be unpopular, but rock olives, drop mocha, stock frag. I like what I like, not what's hype. It triggered me like it was some culture war nonsense. Like, you assumed that your take was going to be so unpopular that you preemptively did damage control. Then it turns out your take was actually pretty tame before finishing it off with a claim that you don't care even though you just proved you care a sentence ago. And this is not me picking on that person, so let's clear this up. This is just one example in the hundreds of thousands of millions of posts where we all claim to not be better than the other person. Like, who is that other person and why do you care what they think? Look, I'm a grown-ass man with a specific taste in sneakers. It's been cultivated by years of watching Michael Jordan and the late Kobe Bryant kick ass on the court, reading countless sneaker blogs, attending even more sneaker events, and unboxing a few sneakers on YouTube channels. Are there hype shoes in my taste profile? Absolutely. Are there shoes that fly under the radar? Of course. And that's okay. Really, it's okay. You don't have to speak out loud your sneaker bona fides or hold off the hounds before expressing your opinion. Just say what it is that you want to say, no qualifiers, and then log off the internet so you don't see the replies, because I know you, the hard pass viewer, get where I'm coming from. Watch this show, enjoy, drop a comment below about a take you agreed or disagreed with, and then log off. All right, that's going to do it for the show. Thank you for watching Hard Pass. I am Jacques Slade. I'll see you next week. If you'd like to possibly be featured in a future episode, call us at 818-493-9325. Leave a short message, your socials if you want, no more than 30 seconds. All right, I'll see you next week. Peace.